So I'm going to talk about specific words that hurt me when I hear them in people's videos. I'm a woman. I have been incested. I have been raped. I have been assaulted because of my gender. My genitals are mutilated. I realize the influence of the internet has had its toll on all of us. And one of the ugliest things is pornography, not erotica. Pornography, which refers to me as a twat and a cunt. Those are epithets of my gender. They reduce me to my genitals, and they use an ugly word that means I'm dirty and inferior and incomplete. They use that sort of language. When you call somebody a cunt or a twat, you're saying that I don't get to have a place in the discussion because of the configuration of my plumbing. It's insulting, it's unnecessary, and it's sexist. I feel the same way about racial epithets, stereotypes, that sort of thing. Now I'm going to talk to you about behavioral health disabilities. I have brain injuries and I have post-traumatic stress disorder. I was severely abused as a child. If your opponent says something that you consider inappropriate, outrageous, ridiculous, please use that sort of language. Please, when you call people crazy, when you say they're brain dead, and when you say they're retarded, it doesn't hurt your opponent at all. It hurts people like me, who, just because we have disabilities, are already marginalized and stigmatized. It's hard for me to find housing. When I could work, it was difficult for me to find employment. I'm different than other people. And people have all these stereotypes that I'm dangerous or that I'm destructive or violent or irrational. They behave patronizingly toward me. They dismiss my opinion. I don't get to have an opinion because I'm crazy. So you're not hurting your opponent. You're hurting people like me. Particularly, although it doesn't apply to me. Yes, I have brain injuries, but I have a pretty standard intellect. I'm sorry, the lights are on and I'm outside and I have bugs. All the moths in New Mexico have discovered this webcam. Oh, I think one went down my shirt. Excuse me a minute. Yes. Okay, I think I got it out without killing it. Brain injuries. I'm not brain dead. I'm not brain damaged. I have survived brain injuries. I have difficulty with memory. I have difficulty with, and this is partly post-traumatic stress, I have difficulty with memory and startle and resisting the impulse to violence. I was quite sociopathic when I was a young girl, when I was a young woman. And it has taken me many decades to learn my way out of it. And some things trigger me, and I'm not saying that your language should protect me from myself. What I am saying is that when you degrade me, I hear that enough. I'm in rural New Mexico that thinks it's Texas. I hear that enough. As atheists, agnostics, etc., as atheists who are trying to do good in the world, who are having conversations about, is it the science of ethics or the science of morality? Who are working to model an alternative to superstition, and obedience and blind faith. I see so much potential for us to do so much. And words like retarded, those won't get us there. It also hurts me when people bring up class issues, assume that trailer trash means ignorant. I'm going to try to show you where I live. That's a 30-foot travel trailer. I live in a parking lot. And I watched a supernova with Thunderfoot the other night. I'm not trailer trash. It's a recession. Correction, it's a depression. I'm not garbage because I'm on food stamps. There's no employment here, especially for a person with disabilities who's 55 years old and female, partially paralyzed, has no car. I live on $700 a month and $100 food stamps. That's it. Half of my income goes to renting space in this parking lot. And my landlord is a born-again with a very, very narrow perception of reality, who is very easily threatened if he feels that reality that he's constructed, that little illusion that he's constructed, if he feels that something is intruding on that or contradicting that, he gets very angry. He doesn't know that I'm queer. He doesn't know that I'm an atheist. I have a flag behind me. I'm outdoors. I have a flag behind me to block the view from the alley so people... I have a lot of stuff out. I'll show you in the daytime sometime. But the flag I've got is the coexist flag. Unfortunately, there was a pagan woman living here in the park who was pretty outrageous and pretty invasive and took advantage of Joe a lot. She had a coexist flag, and Joe is convinced that I'm a pagan. She and I both have red potholders. It doesn't make me a pagan. My born-again neighbor has a blue collar on one of her dogs. I have a blue collar on one of my dogs. It doesn't make me a born-again. I just hope through Goxter and that Michael, I can't remember his name, I'll try to put it in the description, and Phil Platt and some other people, I just hope that we can have constructive conversations. I don't expect to convert anybody. If people are determined to be creationists, they're determined to be creationists or born-agains or think that Obama is the Antichrist. I'm not about convincing them, but there are a lot of people sitting by silently who have never been presented with an alternative or an option to the faith in which they grew up. I was that way for many years. I was a Southern Baptist for many years. I was born into it. And I was very devoted. And I didn't change my mind because people called me a retard or a cunt. We have better arguments than that. Thanks.